Where's the sound trip ever taken?
I'm dreadfully sorry, Mrs. Extra Wide Load. What are you packing in now, huh? About 24 jelly donuts a day, huh?
You wouldn't understand.
I understand you got a pretty fucked up idea of animal husbandry.
How does it feel to be voted the most hated man in America?
In a country full of Neanderthals, I wear the fucking badge of
Hey everybody, Jokey Pants here, coming at you with the final episode here before we go on an Oddcast break. That's right, we're going on a break. It's okay, we bring it up on Oddcast Network, our main YouTube channel, so just go check that out. We brought it all up on the past 2 episodes, so just go check it out there, just breakdown. But I'll give you a breakdown here, don't worry if you don't want to go there, I get you. I hear you, just get out of the comments. I hear you. You don't want to go watch another channel. I get it. I'm moving from Guam to Ohio, so we're going to take a month or 2 off. But there'll still be bad taste on the main channel, Oddcast Network. So that's just what I want to let you know right off the bat. But this will be the last video here until we get moved and settled and whatnot. So just stay tuned and we'll be back. Continuing down the journey that this channel's been doing, I decided to stay in my childhood and I want to talk about Frogs from 1972. It has a big cultural importance, surprisingly, throughout the 70s and even to now, things that are still being made and people you still know. So, Frogs 1972. First off, young Sam Elliott. I'm talking no mustache, no gray hair. First movie he was ever in. Sam Elliott. There may be a lot of you who know Sam Elliott from Ghost Rider, which we tried to make an episode on. But there were some unforeseen issues with the episode. So, there may be some things I put out about it. Maybe I'll try to add a clip here. So, Carter Slade, as he puts it here. Carter Slade, comic-wise, he was a character called Ghost Rider, yes. Came out in the 60s. He was just a fucking cowboy that wore a white suit and looked like a ghost. And that's why they called him Ghost Rider. Because that was like the whole thing. It was this neat little character they did. That is Carter Slade. Ghost Rider was then.
The Lone Ranger was already taken. I mean,
Yeah, well, basically. Which, fun fact, I used to have a cup of this character until someone broke it, and I was super upset because it was from the fucking 60s, so I had purposely tried to keep it as was. Because then in the 70s they made Ghost Rider, we got Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, where it was the flaming skull and he had like demon powers. So Ghost Rider Carter Slade was turned into Phantom Rider. Not an actual Ghost Rider. They changed the name to differentiate because he was not that kind of Ghost Rider. They do have a crossover with Johnny Blaze, but it's just that Johnny Blaze ends up in the Old West and they do it because you used to be called Ghost Rider. Not because he's an actual fucking Ghost Rider. It was just a fun thing for them to be like, hey, you used to be called this, now he's back in time. Help him with this thing quick. So that is my first issue right here, is that they're making a character something that he's actually fucking not. Not even close in his own origin. Is not what that character is. Alright, or maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know, depends on how I feel when I'm editing this one in post. But, that's Sam Elliott from Ghost Rider, so maybe you know him from there. It's weird seeing him here because he doesn't have a fucking mustache. He also doesn't have gray or white hair because he's a very young man here. But you know it's fucking Sam Elliott, not only by the voice, but also because he's the only one wearing denim jeans, cowboy boots, and a denim button-up in a Florida swamp. So you know it's Sam Elliott because he's still got the Sam Elliott cowboy rugged man look going on. Which is what made him which funny enough is what made him stand out for this being his first movie he was in and gave him a career in Hollywood like we know him now, was because of Frogs. So of all fucking things, this movie. But also the director, George McCowan. He also had a big career after this, going on to direct things like Starsky and Hutch, Charlie's Angels, and Fantasy Island in the 70s, which you may not know those series from the original series there, but you probably know them from the remakes and things we got in the early 2000s with all of those properties. So, he's made pop cultural icon things himself. So this movie had a lot going on. Also, Joan Van Ark, which I know the name from my great-grandmother. She was a fan. Rest in peace, Grandma. But she was fond of Joan Van Ark, so that's how I know that name. It's funny to me that this was also her first debut in, doing things, was coming into this movie, and then she did stage plays and things after. But I thought that was pretty funny, that this otherwise forgettable B movie has people that you're just like, oh, wow, I know that name, or like, wow, look what they went on to go to do. So anyway, Frogs. It's really, so first off, this is about a paper mill that is dumping chemicals into the Florida swamp of this island where it takes place, and nature fights back and starts killing the rich family. First note right off the bat, go watch our Wrong Turn 2 review. But Anthony, we found the owner of the paper mill that made those Cannibal Hillbillies. It is this guy, because he does the same thing here, except he makes all the animals kill everybody. But it's doing the same exact plot reason. So holy shit, we found the goddamn origin. And I'm pretty sure it's also in the movie Prophecy, another movie that I'll cover that's another Monster B movie. I'll get to that one when I get to it. But anyway, funny that that's the thing here. Sam Elliott plays Prickett, who is a biologist. He's here to check out all this pollution and like the dying wildlife, whatnot. He runs into the family because, like assholes, they run into his fucking canoe, and then they're like, oh, well, let's go over to our house. We own the mansion over here. So this was all shot in Emerald Grove, Florida, which is a natural museum, conservation, bog, marsh kind of area. They released about a mixture of like almost 2,000 frogs and cane toads for filming this. Wouldn't you know it, they lost 90% of the animals, the reptiles and shit that they released because there were too many of them and not enough people to handle them. So you're welcome, Florida. Your cane toad problems came from this movie, most likely. So you're welcome. That was just the fact that I found behind the scenes. And it makes sense, because when you look at it, there are so many fucking toads on screen in some scenes. So honestly, it makes a lot of sense that they lost most of them, because, goddamn. Yeah, so anyway. So Prickett meets the family, and then you meet the old man Crockett, he's such a fucking asshole, where he's just, everything anyone says about that there's danger is that they're fucking stupid and wrong. He's lived here his family's owned the island for over 100 years. Everything's fine. They own the paper mills, the blah, blah, blah. We're rich. Everything's not our fault. Which, fun fact for this movie, it is, because nature starts to kill everyone. But this movie's very slow. And I say very slow because it's very artistic. And the reason it's artistic is the guy that they got to film everything for them was a nature documentarist who was already in Emerald Grove to do nature pictures and things anyway. So that's why most of the shots in this movie are just close-ups of like alligators and geckos and things just being there, because that's what he was already doing. And then they just shot around characters in a story that kind of doesn't work, This is a very forgettable movie, but my dad introduced me to this one when I was in like 3rd, 4th grade, because he's always been a huge horror fan, and I started to get into it around then, and he didn't want to scare me. I remember very specifically, he said he wanted to show me Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, things like that, but because I was so young, he was very much like morally like, you're only in like 3rd, going in 4th grade, like, I can't show you those yet. But you know what? Let's watch Frogs, because there's not really a whole lot going on with it. It's just a lot of animal shots. Still scared me, though, because cottonmouths, who do kill people in this movie, those run rampant where I lived. So I was also terrified they were just going to suddenly band together and try to kill me. So that was fun. But I've never been afraid of toads, and it just, in this movie, I find it fucking hilarious everyone's afraid of toads. And just to add in here, to tell you, this movie's about an hour and a half-ish. I think it's like an hour 20, hour and a half. The first killing of someone, there is a dead hunter that Sam Elliott's character finds, but you don't see him die. They kind of find the body, and they're like, I think things are happening. The first person in the family doesn't die till like almost 45 minutes into this movie, and it's the youngest son, Michael, who goes out bird hunting. And then Jesus Christ, I hope I can get clips to work with this video. The way I do things, I like to add clips of the movie I do, just to show you, like, this is what I mean when I say something or whatever. But for the love of God, please let me use this clip, please. Like, what the fuck is this? He's like skipping. He's like fucking skipping, but he's also scared. But anyway, he fucking shoots himself, and it's my leg. And then he gets eaten by fucking tarantulas. Because apparently this island has fucking tarantula trees. So fuck that. You know what? Just bring in the napalm. Burn the fucking island down. We don't need tarantula trees. Fuck that shit. So he's the first one to get killed off in the family here. And that's not till like 45 minutes in. But then they kill off like everybody. Then it just kind of everyone starts dying here. Because then Ira gets killed off, who's one of the sisters, who's just kind of a ditzy, happy-go-lucky kind of character. But she goes off butterfly hunting, and she gets killed because snakes keep chasing her. And she also has a pretty, like, nasty, she falls in some water, and she has to pull leeches off of her, which is just gross. And then she gets killed by a rattlesnake, who's Chekhov's rattlesnake, funny enough. Because he shows up way earlier in the movie, but doesn't bite anybody. And then it's just to kill Ira way later on. And then on top of Ira, they also kill off her, like, friend or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what his character was. I think he's, like, her friend. But he gets brutally fucking eaten by alligators. A pack of fucking alligators. But also, in his death scene, and again, try to include clips of, like, what I'm saying here, but, like, I'm pretty sure they just had him wrestling an alligator here, like, just hold on to it and, like, roll with it, which is incredibly dangerous. Like, unless I assume maybe they taped its mouth shut so it couldn't bite him. But even then, if it, like, managed to get free, it could take his hand. It could fucking kill him. Like, it's big enough, too, it could kill him. I know there's going to be people who are like, nah, but it's like, no, it could. Like, he's not trained professionally. He's a fucking actor. Like, he's not a trained professional with the alligator. Like, if it slips and just decides, like, you know what, I'm going to go for your throat. Like, it'll still crush his fucking head. So that's still a dangerous thing they were doing to film that. But okay. Also, that's a ridiculously brutal kill for somebody who was a nice person every time he was on screen. Like, the two people who were just overly nice get the brutalest fucking deaths. Because also, to mention, Ira's death with the rattlesnake is like 4 minutes long. And it feels like 20. Like, it is so dragged out with her just stumbling through the swamp, getting chased by some snakes, that it feels like 20 minutes long, but it is a good 4 minutes. I counted it. So just goddamn. They kill the other son. Essentially at the same time that the Ira's dying, the other son, Kenneth, gets killed in a greenhouse thing. It has a specific name, but I don't want to look up the name again. Trapoid or something like that. Anyway, it's something that Stephen King said inspired him to use it for The Shining, and then they made it instead of the hedge maze, and then they did the hedge maze in the movie. But for the book, he liked what they did in this. I don't know what it's called. It looks like just a fucking tent greenhouse with the whatever. Anyway, he goes in there to do his gardening, and for the love of God, it just like a tip for everyone at home. If you have dangerous chemicals in a bottle, don't just put fucking Scotch tape and Sharpie poison and put it up on a shelf. What kind of poison? What the fuck is it? What is it being used for? Because the lizards knock it over and fucking kill Kenneth. Also, how are the lizards alive? How are they not suffocated and fucking dying by whatever poison that is? Does it only affect mammals for some reason? I don't understand. You fucking explain it, because I don't know. God. So, because people are dying, shit's going on. Also, funniest acting when they find Kenneth's body. Like, I know this was a debut for a lot of the actors in this movie. Like, this was their first time doing a movie. But please, for the love of God, let me use clips, because somebody please verify. This is just the funniest fucking shit you've ever seen for, like, finding a dead body.
Can't, no!
Oh, there's nothing you can do.
No! He's dead! He's dead! He's dead! He's dead!
Who's dead?
God, I knew it.
I don't know if I've ever seen a funnier reaction. That might be like top 2, top 3 funniest bad acting reactions I've ever fucking seen. Awesome. Awesome. So because everybody keeps dying, and then Ira and her friend disappear, everybody starts talking about leaving because clearly it's dangerous. Maybelle, Charlie, and Bella, who's the butler, the maid, and then the guest. They all try to leave, but the lizards cut the rope, and the boat is now off in the water. So then they're like, fuck it, we'll just run for it or whatever. Which, if it's an island, I don't understand what they were going to do. Still going to have to either get on a boat, because there's no other way off. So I don't know what their plan was in this scene. But it doesn't matter, because they get killed by birds off screen, because they tried to do an effect to have like birds attacking them, and it didn't work. So they just die off screen. So they're dead now. So now we move on. Because then the son, Clint, tries to swim out to get the boat, and cottonmouths bite him to death. I guess. It's weird. Again, it's a B movie, so it's still film shot of a cottonmouth swimming on top of the water, and then him being like, ah! Oh! Ah! And then pulling up his hand with blood and being like, he's bit by the cottonmouth, and then he drowns and dies. Which, yes, they are venomous, they can kill you, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, my guy. So he's dead. And then his wife, like a fucking moron, I don't know, I guess she was gonna try to swim out in a fucking sweater and jeans. More power to you, but she gets stuck in the muck, and then she gets killed off screen by an alligator snapping turtle, because they show the turtle swimming towards her and her stuck, and then you don't really know what happened until later they find her body and there's crabs all over her head and her ankles like bit in half. And that's it. So I guess it bit her ankle in half, and then the crabs finished her off. I couldn't tell you. So yeah, they're all dead. So then Sam Elliott's character Prickett and the last surviving daughter Karen, they take the two kids of Jenny and Clint, the two who just died in the lake, whatever. Well, it's not really, I guess it's not really a lake because of Florida. I don't know. It's an island. It's verified it's an island, so fuck off. But anyway, they take the kids to the canoe, they escape, they get to mainland, they hitch ride, and the lady they hitch a ride with has a son. And the son was in summer camp, and he has a big-ass fat fucking toad. And it's revealed that basically nature's just killing all of humanity. That it's not just the island, because they mentioned there hasn't really been any traffic, and when she picked her son up from camp, nobody's barbecuing or doing anything. So it's implied that nature's just like, fuck it, the paper mill ruined this area, fuck human beings, and it's an apocalypse going on apparently.
I just picked my son up at camp.
Hi, I'm Bobby. Hi.
We've been on this road for practically 3 hours straight, and you're the first souls we've seen in an hour. It seems very strange that everybody's disappeared inside on a holiday.
Hey, you want to see what I caught? They were all over the place at camp. Ever seen a monster big as him before?
And then the movie just ends with the toads breaking into the house and eating Old Man Crockett, which it cuts with an animated, still animated frog swallowing a hand, like on the poster. And yeah, that's Frogs. It's a real slow burn movie. It's very artistic, very just scenic views, which is very nice. But as I said, as far as pop culture, it did a lot in that case. Like, it gave us Sam Elliott, who now we all know as, some of us know as the mayor in Family Guy, taking Adam West's place. Rest in peace, Mr. West. But I also know him from the Ghost Rider, or God, what is it? He's been in so many different shows and things. I can't even think. I can't think what the hell that one is. The one has like Ashton Kutcher that was popular for a while, Outer Range or whatever, and then he was starred in Parks and Rec. I could go on and on with where you've seen Sam Elliott. You know him, you love him. He's a fucking fantastic actor. But this was the movie that gave him a start, as well as Joan Van Ark, who I know from my great-grandma, because she was a fan. Rest in peace, your great-grandma, but that's how I knew that name. Funny. Also gave her debut. And then also, again, they gave us Charlie's Angels, Fantasy Island, and Starsky and Hutch, because the director just directed episodes there and brought that into pop culture fame. So, you know, a forgettable B-movie that somehow made a significant impact much later on. But hey, you know, until we can get you another video, either here or go watch The Bad Taste while we're gone over on our main channel. We got March, where it's all oddball movies that you might not have heard of that I've seen, and I'm like, you know what, these are actually pretty good. Like, as much as the show's called Bad Taste, they're actually not bad movies all the time. So the oddball month for March, go check that out. You can maybe you'll see some good movies you want to see. And then April, I've got all remakes. Are they good? Are they bad? It's a mix of both. It's basically one good, one bad, or vice versa throughout the entire month. So stay tuned for that. And then we got Men in Black May, which is Maverick's idea. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off. Hopefully I can get moved and reset up in time. We can start Men in Black May in time. If not, that'll be next year. But either way, we got Men in Black May that we're going to try to do. So fingers crossed. But until next time, remember, always don't dump chemicals in the sewer. Maybe, just don't dump chemicals into nature. Should just be, you'll create cannibal fucking mutated hillbillies, or nature will kill us all. So maybe we just don't do that in general. Don't go in the sewers, stay out of the water. Don't bury the dead under the road. Don't prank your friends as a serial killer. The rules are always changing, so if you find yourself in a scary situation, analyze. Is it a monster? Is it whatever? Figure out the rules and survive. Until next time, stay odd, stay happy. I'll see ya!
See you again. Attend you